everyone. Welcome to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Matthew, your slightly tech trouble having Dungeon Master for this evening. Before we jump over to our players, a couple of quick shoutouts. Please, if you are in Twitch chat this evening, actually let me jump over to my other screen here right quick. I apologize, folks. I want to make sure I've got the Twitch chat pulled up because I was told last time that some of us were a little quiet and others were loud. So I want to make sure that y'all can hear everybody and we're not having any more technical issues like that. But with that, let's just go ahead and jump on over to our players. I've got the transition screen again. Oh well. Give me a second here. Welcome everyone. A couple of quick shout outs while I finish getting the last of our tech things organized here. I want to say thank you to Twitch and Streamlabs. We use their software to do what we enjoy doing. Our favorite friends up north, Little Dragon Corp, and down south we have Evans, Georgia, and Cardboard Castle Games. You can toss ! Little Dragon into chat and ! CCG. It'll get you a link to both of their sites. When it comes to Little Dragon, don't forget to use the discount code PROBONUS to get 10% off your order. They ship anywhere in the country. I always go to say country, but I mean the world. So, the world is just one big country. Maybe we should all start acting that way.
No matter what country you're in, it ships anywhere in your country.
This is very true. And makes a whole lot more sense than the way I've been saying it. So with that, we are going to jump headfirst into what happened last time. Our party has arrived in Silvery Moon. They've been sort of poking around a little bit, we'll call it. Some of them made a trip over to Essence Designs of some armor getting worked on. Went over, poked around in the market a little bit. Eventually everybody's got dolled up in their Sunday finest, and they've made their way over to some relatives, we'll say, of young Master Artemis. As Artemis has been made aware that there is not a small possibility that their grandparents may be involved in some way with the kidnapping of said mother. They have... This is going to be hard to... I'm so on... Give me a moment. My entire system just started having a moment. There we go. So, eventually the group made their way over, introduced themselves to the guards at the gate, was escorted into a study. As some of them have sort of poked around a little bit here and there, and have come to realize that two individuals are heading, sound like they're coming from the sort of main foyer, coming down the stairs towards this study or library that they're currently residing in. Now, you guys have sounds like just a couple of moments before they get there. Is anything that the group of you would like to be doing? It actually, real quick for our viewers at home, you will notice that Lydia and Snowmoon are missing right now. Lydia will not be with us this evening, and Snowmoon is en route, is running a little behind, so we're hoping to have Snowmoon join. So at least for now, they are going to be on Roleplay Light. Is there anything that anyone would be doing as you're starting to hear these footsteps heading your way?
I guess I shouldn't start by making a zone of truth in this room.
No.
They'll hook into it and be like...
Well, does it affect people who walk into it after it's been cast?
I would think.
Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn. Yep.
Okay.
You can walk into it, but I'm not going to do that. I think that that would just cause issues that we don't know are gonna happen yet.
Speaking of causing issues, is the little halfling girl still
Please don't.
in the
So
room?
the halfling girl went back through the door to the north. So the
Okay.
room you're in, as you guys came in the front doorway, there those stairwell, the like sort of wrap up stairs that led up to the second floor. You guys are basically ushered off to the right into this sort of study-looking area. It has a small table, a couple of chairs seated around it. There is a much more, I guess I'll call it a much more opulent chair sitting just off to the side next to a rather large bookshelf that Artemis seemed to be spending a little bit of time admiring. And
Okay.
there's a couple of other I'll call them wall shelves. There, I don't know the right word for them. Think of it sort of like a liquor cabinet. The thing that looks sort of like a 2 or 3 drawer bureau that you keep your clothes in, but it's no drawers on the front of it. Looks like it has a couple of cabinets to open, and on top of it, there's all manner of little like tchotchkes, and it sort of feels like it. Again, best word for it is probably a trophy room.
Okay. And no, just gonna sit patiently.
Okay.
Did the halfling bring the tea, or is that
Yeah,
still
tea's
on the way?
Nope, tea's sitting out.
Well, if I have time for an action, I would like to do purify food and drink on the tea.
Okay, yeah,
It's a 5-foot radius sphere on a point that covers all the food in the area, so I just sort of center it on the tray.
Oh, okay.
Whip that one off.
works.
Just in case.
Okay. So you've definitely got time for that. So Murdoch, Art, anything you would be doing?
Mentally preparing.
Okay.
Oh, I do know one thing I actually wanted to do.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. Murdoch is just going to say, Artemis, I just want you to know, however this goes, we are going to back you 100%. And I may be even 110. And I'm going to give you Bardic Inspiration. Because it lasts for 10 minutes, for anything that you might need to do.
Whew.
And thank you very much
Art
for that
gets their
Twitch
game
chat.
face on.
Hopefully
You're
that's a little
welcome.
better.
So yeah, that's Unfailing Inspiration. It's a D8. You can use it, and if it doesn't help you succeed on a check, you still have it, so you can use it again. Any ability, any skill check, or ability check, or attack roll. No, not attack roll. Any ability check or saving throw. Can you
Okay.
use it on attack rolls? I'll double check. We're not fighting right now. It's fine.
Okay. So Snow Moon is probably up because over the fireplace, they've got a couple of things mounted up to the wall. So Snow Moon's probably hanging out over there, just looking at the different things. Furia said was casting on the food, so that would put her more over near the table. Lydia's still going to be, I'm going to put her over sort of by in Snow Moon's general area, but still making sure close enough that it has that calm emotion spell ready just in case, Granny decides to jump the gun before Artemis does.
And I oop. Is there a little map for this, or is it just kind of mind's eye thing right now?
No, I do have a little bit of a map right for you. I'm just trying to figure out where people may or may not be situated. So let me do this. And I will drag you over. It is a little, there, but it should give you an idea. So we know if you guys can see everything here. Or see anything.
I can.
Okay. Murdoch, can you see?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. So this is roughly where my assumption is based on what you guys are saying is. And Murdoch, I just sort of left you out, and again, I apologize for some reason. Roll20 will not let me upload that token in right now. For some reason, it keeps giving me an error message, but I'm going to update this a little bit because we are having some company. So as you guys are sort of rushing off here, you managed to get your spell off without a problem. And then a couple of moments later, you hear footsteps. And immediately for all of you, the first thing that comes to mind is you see these individuals walking in. And again, as they've arrived, I described them to you last time, one of them wearing this sort of large circular pendant on a chain with a opening in the center of it. And then the female wearing this sort of almost low-hanging gold necklace with a crystal wrapped in a thin gold wire. The clothes, you can see the just sort of, again, for a gnome, these long flowing robes down to the ground. Both of them walking. Murdoch probably catches your attention. Very nice, almost naturally formed wooden canes. The woman's has, I guess I'll call it like almost like literally an upside down L. I don't know the right word for it. The cane itself sort of twists and comes up like a branch and then just straight out for the handle. The older gentleman's has a clear crystal on it, much like this die on it. As the two of them enter the room, the guard standing at the door gives a little bit of a nod, steps just outside the room, and the two doors close. And now you have the two individuals, and I'm just going to, let me see. I'm just going to grab a random two things here so you guys can see them. We're just... I apologize, Roll20 is being a little sluggish tonight. And with work, I did not get all of my mapping done quite as quick as I was hoping to. Okay, where are my... we'll just do this. Okay, as they walk in, though, the older gentleman is going to look over, and as they scan the room, after just a couple of moments, the eyes do draw to you. Over to you, Artemis. And a very sort of almost a smirk comes across the face. I was wondering if you'd ever take the time to come out here. What brings you here?
Well, I'm supposing that you have an inkling already, but Lillian and her whereabouts are what is concerning me today.
I'm going to grab him and just give me a second. Yes, little red-haired woman. There we go. Just the two of them, just so you have a inkling of where they're going. He starts to take a couple of steps forward, and you can see as he glances over, looks at his wife a little bit, takes a few more steps. Why'd she finally get fed up and leave him? What makes you think she would come back here? Or that we would even let her?
You wouldn't let her come back? Why not?
As he continues walking towards the table, looks at everyone. It seems like they've gotten tea prepared. Why don't we sit and have a conversation?
Okay. I suppose.
I'm sure we can get all of this sorted out nice and calmly, with conversation, of course.
Now, are they speaking in Gnomish? Or are they speaking Common?
He has not been. He is speaking in common at the moment.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's... I should have mentioned that, because everyone else you've seen come in here has only spoken to you in Gnomish.
Okay, alright. I will go and sit down.
As you said, he is actually going to come over and sit right down beside you.
Okay.
Then his wife ends up sitting sort of across the way, assuming Sarah is sitting up in that closest to the half where the halfling came out of. She'll end up sitting beside Sarah.
Yeah.
And then we'll look over it, and she speaks for the first time to you, Artemis, and she is speaking in Gnomish.
Okay.
I wish he would not lower himself to speak in that tongue. But welcome. If you found your way here, you must have some skill.
Some. Yes. And back to her, they'd be responding in Gnomish.
And then she turns around. Girl, get in here! And after a couple of minutes, the halfling comes in. And seeing everyone sort of starting to take seats and get situated, will come around, pours everybody a cup of tea.
I'd like to thank her in common and then in halfling. Like, just double dip.
As you said to her, she just sort of looks at you a little bit and just goes... And then turns and starts walking away.
Could you give me a verbal communication of the face you probably just did? Because I cannot see your face, CM.
Yeah, that's what...
It's good for radio.
I got a face for radio, folks. Yeah, for those not watching at home that are really confused...
Make the face and hold it, and I'll like screenshot it.
Do the emojis.
Perfect. Oh yeah, okay. Here you go. Here you go.
For those at home that are wondering why we're going through this, for some reason, we use Discord for our chat. And for some reason tonight, my camera, the camera I use to stream, I can either have it running through Streamlabs and streaming for all us wonderful viewers at home, or I can have it working in Discord, but not both for some reason. So that's going to be some fun to research tomorrow. But now some of us who are able to watch it on Twitch at the same time can see what I'm doing. Others, like Sigma, when I say gives you this face, is completely meaningless.
But okay, so she does not understand me.
She seems to be utterly confused. And as you're saying that, it's again, you hear the woman mutter something off in Gnomish at her, and the girl just sort of cringes a little bit and literally scampers back to the door to the north behind you.
Okay.
And then your grandfather looks over to you and says, Are there any of these people who speak the higher tongues, or do I need to resign myself to common for this evening?
I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one that speaks Gnomish. Some of them do know other languages, but not Gnomish.
And you still travel with them? Seems to be more than a little of your father in you.
Mm-hmm.
Is he saying this in common to
Yes.
Art?
Anything that the grandfather is saying, at least currently, is in common. The grandmother is only speaking in Gnomish,
Okay.
and I will try to remember to specify which one, remind which one is speaking. So yeah, anything Grandpa's saying though is in common. Benji sits down, starts having some of the tea, and
Art would probably follow suit and just like grab a teacup.
I'm gonna wait until I see other people drinking.
well, you would notice that
I would
Furia
grab a
had,
cup.
yeah, and you would see that Furia had done something to the tea.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never done that particular spell before, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Furia double drugged it.
Murdoch so desperately wants to be like, most magic was originated from Draconic, but she holds her tongue.
Sarah's
just-
not gonna hold.
Just a little fun
No.
fact.
Well, Artemis actually was able to acquire a scroll that allowed them to comprehend all languages. It came in very handy.
It's like a
With-
first level spell.
She doesn't know that. Sarah doesn't know magic.
I know, I just realized you just don't know magic. You probably think it's a super powerful spell.
And it came in very handy when we had a couple of things we needed read.
Art is just looking down at their teacup.
And you can see that your grandfather really doesn't know what to say to that. He's just much the same. You guys are actually seeing a little bit of a familial resemblance now between Art and this older gnome, as the both of them immediately down into the teacup like, yeah. I was not going to say anything. After a couple of moments, though, and while he's sipping, your grandmother looks across the table over at you again. And again, speaking only in Gnomish to you. So are you coming to complete your studies?
Not in this go around. More or less just looking for Lillian.
But what on earth would make you think she would come here? There must be something that drove you to our doorstep.
Valman? Sort of.
As you say that, your grandfather almost starts to choke on the tea he was drinking. He turns over and looks to you, and again, speaking in common. So not only did you... So that traitor sent you our way. And what did he tell you? That we're the ones who did it?
You know she's missing, though, right?
When?
When? What do you mean, when?
What? You're saying she's missing. When did she go missing?
Is Grandpa playing stupid?
I don't know. You can try to make a check if you'd like to.
I'm insight checking Grandpa.
I would like to try.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Yeah, I would like to make one specifically on the statement, like, we didn't do it. What
Yeah.
didn't he do? That's
13. Artemis, you have my inspiration as well, so if you ever feel like it's the time to use it.
I rolled 14, and that's with my
Yeah.
bonus.
I got a 16.
Oh, okay, give me a second.
I have a +8 for insight, but I rolled a 6.
I always forget that you're really insightful.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
scarily.
nosy.
Okay.
We're just
Yeah, so-
innocent old people. We
Yeah,
don't
he's-
go out of the house.
He is very hard to read. Looks over at you,
She
Art, and
went-
comments, "What- how long?
But when I was still a child, sort of thing. But I
As
don't
you say
know.
that, he stands up and abruptly the teacup falls, the chair tips over. He stands up and then leans on his... And that useless sack you call a father never contacted us. Never told us anything of that we could have done to help.
I was sort of under the impression, with what Valman said, that you didn't exactly want anything to do with him. Or, you know, me. Or...
Looks down a little bit, and you can see the hand clutching on the top of his cane as his knuckles are white. He's gripping it so tightly. There is a difference between not wanting to be involved and not wanting to know that something's happened. Turns his head into gnomish. Go upstairs, bring it down. And you can hear footsteps from just outside the door that they entered through. Start almost sprinting. And you hear him just sort of starts to disappear off into the distance. It'll take him a moment or two, but reaches down and grabs a hold onto that onto the necklace he's wearing, and you can just see that same sort of clenching strength. And every couple of moments you can see there's little glances here and there between him and his wife.
guess in the meantime, Art would probably a gnomish ask, why wouldn't she come back here?
It doesn't seem like your grandfather really acknowledges the question. It seems like his mind is still elsewhere. After a couple of moments, your grandmother does respond, though. And in Gnomish to you, says, well, you see, it was made very apparent when your father arrived that he wasn't like us. He spoke much too quickly. Rammed words together, didn't make any sense. I mean, the way he speaks Gnomish is no better than these fools in the common. But, unfortunately, she had a thing for him. We made it apparent that our bloodline was more important than her feelings, and she disagreed. Stole something from my personal study and then was gone. The two of them. It was many a year before we even heard anything from her. She sent a single message from an elven cleric of all things. Couldn't even be bothered to do it herself. To advise us that she had given birth.
I'm sorry. I know that comes decades too late, I suppose.
Whatever trouble she's in now, he will see what he can find. At this point, all of you can start to hear heavy footsteps coming back towards the door. Eventually, as it gets right up to the door and you hear the door opens and these two, what you guys recognize as two of the guards that you'd seen within the house, come in carrying this decent-sized white chest. So come over and set it on the table in front of where your grandfather had been sitting next to you, Art. And he just sort of beckons them off as they set it down. He walks over to it, and you start to hear him muttering a couple of strange syllables together, and then you hear a single, and the chest pops open. And sitting within the chest is a large crystal orb. He sort of sits down and we're gonna do this a little different than usual, as you're probably the most similar thing of hers that we have in our possession right now. We're gonna see if we can't scry on my daughter.
Okay.
He's gonna sit down and again start going through and trying to cast this orb to scry. And now, as he's taking care of this, it is going to take him a few minutes to go through. Is there anything the rest of you would be doing during this time?
Are there any, like, places in this room that I like a quick glance around from where I'm sitting that I could possibly see if there's like trapdoors, like weirdly fixed panels, stuff like that, something that indicates like there's more to this room or there's like other exits out of this room?
Are you trying to view that from your chair, or are you just like getting up and sort of going on different wall? Like, how are you doing this?
Just from the chair, like looking around.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check. I am going to give you disadvantage though, because you are literally just sort of going, oh, anything over there? Nope. No, everything looks good.
With disadvantage, both of those rolls sucked. 11.
Oh, okay. So you don't see anything really jumping out at you that looks necessarily like it would, like anything that you can think of like a false door, like the bookshelf that Artemis was looking at that held all the books on it isn't flush against the wall. It's sort of kitty corner. So you know that's okay. There's probably not like a hidden book I can pop out there to make it open. It's not against a wall. You're not seeing any of the sort of telltale signs that you're familiar with without a more in-depth actual search.
Okay.
Murdoch, anything you'd be doing?
If there's no, I guess I would perhaps message Artemis. I don't care if they know that I'm using a message spell. If they're gonna talk in Gnomish, I'll talk in message. I want to ask Artemis if they think we should ask about the mask. Because the mask that we saw in the projection, and then you recognized that when you were speaking to your uncle, and that sort of led him, when you brought that up, that sort of made him totally flip script. So maybe your grandparents know something about it? And also, Zone of Truth, ready to go, like, whenever, if you do, just let me know. The tea is kind of good, I have to admit.
Hey, you're back. I just realized I'm sitting here doing this like they could see me in Discord.
One cannot speak. One cannot see.
I guess I'll reply to that message. That was quite a lengthy one.
Most of it was Dylan kind of like giving context. It was more Murdoch
Yes.
said, Zone of Truth ready to go. Do you want to ask them about that mask?
I'd like to, yes. Maybe after we see if anything comes of this scrying. Dependent on that, we may use Zone of Truth.
Because unless you're able to see into what he sees, they could say that they see anything they want.
So as this goes by, and the spell takes 10 minutes. So as he's going through and using this and casting it, and about as they're getting ready, and they're just keeping his right hand, he's now switched over. He's got the cane sort of leaning up against him, and he's now got his right hand almost digging into your forearm, Art. And as he's casting, just almost sort of uncomfortably, just very emaciated hands. And is casting it, and watches as he's looking down and glances over you, and all of a sudden you watch as the eyes go white. A couple of moments goes by. As the color fades back into his eyes, and as he looks over, the hurt did absolutely nothing. I cannot see her anywhere.
Can I do a big old insight check on that?
Certainly.
Cool. These are going away.
Could I hear what he said across where I am?
Yeah, he's sitting right across the table from you.
Okay, I didn't know how big the table is. I'm also gonna inside check that man. There can only be one sneaky grandparent here.
That was a 10, so...
Oh, okay. I'll wait and see what Sarah gets.
I know it's simple math, but... Dirty 20.
Okay.
Oh, much better.
As he says that, you both get the strong suspicion that he's not being 100% forthcoming with his statement.
I'm gonna loudly cough.
As you do that, the grandmother turns over, and in Gnomish, "Girl, more honey, this one's sick." The halfling comes scampering back out and puts a little tiny cup of honey with a little honey thing in it and gestures at the tea, and then scampers back into the kitchen.
Are you sure that you were able to see nothing? You know, sometimes you know how it is with our old age. Perhaps you did see your daughter, but she looked like a Labrador, or a pile of clothes, or a bright light.
You watch as his eyes widen a little bit. And then turning to you, Art, in Gnomish. Did that creature just refer to my daughter as a dog?
This is back in Gnomish. I'm not too sure what that first thing was about. Are you sure you didn't see anything? I want to know where she is.
You watch as he turns and looks at his wife across the table a little bit. Again, most of you catch that extremely minor, just that ever so slight smirk of the lip as he looks across at her. He looks over at you, Art. And again, in common. It seems you're not quite as useless as your old man is.
Respectfully, could we have more answers with a little less side of salt? We are having tea.
Sort of. That's a little bit, no?
But that's not my business.
Like
Hey,
Murdoch's
Daddy!
like, listen, I understand that we talk
However,
shit at tea, but
Okay, give me a second here. We're going to disconnect that one. Okay, she's got a magic
let's see how quickly we can do this sexy transition with the new
with, yeah, let's
backdrop
see
stuff.
here. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so we got half a Maddie head.
Yeah.
Second here. Okay.
Like a glove.
Are we on break right now?
No, we're in game right
We
now.
are in game. I am just.
Okay.
You popped in. You just arrived in time for tea.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
But I
You know
figured you were-
Artemis.
ugh.
Perhaps we are bothering your grandparents too much. Perhaps we should go and take our leave and go find your father. Perhaps he knows some people in his circles that could help us locate your mother.
Of course, yes. If your grandfather wasn't able to see anything with the scribe, perhaps we can ask him and see if he can do something else instead.
Yes, you know how well traveled those sailors are.
He looks over at the group of you and grin starts to grow a little bit wider. That tinkerer couldn't find her for all the platinum in the Lord's Alliance banks.
So are you saying that you know where she is?
She's right where she needs to be.
Ooh. Little sinister.
I'm suspecting that you're not going to tell me much more than that.
Well, it depends on whose side you're on. If you'll join us, or if you're with them.
I'm going to need to know a little bit more about what that means. Who's... What side are you?
As you ask that, he looks over at his wife and in Gnomish says, "You might as well drop it now." And you watch as the image of the two people in front of you starts to change. And the robes and the fine clothing, these individuals are still wearing very nice, very expensive clothes. You do still notice on your grandfather, he is still wearing that necklace with the large sort of donut on it. But you notice the colors are different. They're more of like a storm cloud gray almost. What immediately catches all of your eyes is the face. Both of them wearing that same white mask.
I'm gonna put my teacup down. I'm gonna sit up a little bit straighter.
The two of them are just staring at this point now at Art.
I mean, that doesn't really tell me much of anything more than I already suspected. So if you are trying to pull one over on me, thank you for the excitement. But that's done now. Can I have some more information about whose side exactly I am? Who am I addressing? What am I addressing?
We're still your blood. You were born. Well, half born, I suppose, but half is better than none. Every one of our line has served until we decided we would serve no more. My great-great-great-grandfather was the first to envision our freedom, our leadership, shall we say. And now we are still involved in the struggle to wrench control back. Do you want to go back to the way things were ages ago? Your bloodline subservient to that?
Almost sounds like he wants to spit, but
Or work with us.
your mother left, thought she could escape her fate.
Doesn't work that way.
Do you have her here or not?
She is not here. She is elsewhere. Doing as is commanded.
And what is this? And they gesture to the mask.
It is what we wear to protect ourselves. So that as we make the difficult choices, it is not as easily identifiable who has done it.
So, what am I following? If I am following you.
He looks over at looks over at you, looks back over at his wife for a moment.
That is a conversation for family. Perhaps we should have a conversation, just you and I.
We can speak in Gnomish. They do not know that tongue.
And looks back and forth a little bit,
And I will say for everyone else who's sitting at this table is you've all seen this sort of this spell or this disguise fade. You notice a couple of things as Art is involved in this conversation with their grandfather. The grandmother, who is still sitting at the table, still sipping her cup of tea, has that same white mask on, but has a robe that is just covered in different patches. And has a rather interesting looking dagger on her hip. As you guys just sort of glance around, and Art, you'd probably notice the things on the things on your grandfather a little closer as you two are sort of knee deep in this conversation. He has looks to be basically a monocle on a stick, sitting in the in his breast pocket of his robe. That literally looks like one of those sort of like theater-goers pince-nez. Yeah. But it's only got a single lens on it. And then again, you've got that large sort of donut amulet that he's wearing around his neck. As he looks, he gets up and starts to pace a little bit now. Walks a couple of feet away over by the bookshelf, walks back, walks over by the fireplace, walks back over. Sort of pacing back and forth a little bit. What is everyone's passive perceptions?
16. I believe
11.
Lydia's is 17.
Okay.
And 12.
15.
Also 12.
I really am the least perceptive person in the party.
Okay. So everyone who rolled above a 13 or higher. Notice that while he was walking, he picked up a small ball off the fireplace. And it's just sort of, it looks like it's some sort of metal ball that he's just sort of almost rolling in his hand a little bit. He's pacing back and forth a little bit.
I'm going to do a message back to Murdoch.
Oh, okay.
He just picked up something, not too sure what it is. We might have to do something a little bit more drastic. Just be prepared.
I have spells that could maybe help resolve this. But with both of them here, it gets a little bit complicated. Could you do something? Do a little bit of a recast. Can you get alone with one of them or have just one of them leave.
This is Para just trying to think of a way to do that.
Yeah, because
uh,
Murdoch is like, yeah, the tension in here is kind of growing.
mhm.
So where Para mentioned it, the player, he did ask to walk away and talk privately. You said no. You may be able to convince him that, you know what, you've thought better, let's go take a walk. Or you could try something different, but...
No, I suppose I was just trying to figure out a way to try and get dear old grandma to leave, but no, that's probably...
You could have me cough again.
No, I think that'll make things somehow worse. No, I'm just kidding.
Because
Cough! Tries to steal
leaving-
a dagger.
leaving, like, out of character. I mean, do we think that, like, whatever Grandpa knows, Grandma probably also knows?
Probably.
Because then if you go off alone with him, then we're still all alone with Grandma, and that might still allow me to... I've got charms, I've got suggestions, I've got all of this stuff, but I'm really worried that if I do it on one of them, the other might just dispel it, and then we get into a sticky situation.
Okay, alright. Art will make a big kind of show of pushing the chair back and kind of walking up near to him, but not like, I'm gonna get you. And in Gnomish. Alright. My apologies for being hasty. If it is a family matter and you want to speak more privately on that matter, then I will oblige.
Then he gives a little bit of a bow and looks over at your grandmother and gives her a little nod and right, and again picks up his cane in one hand and sort of reaches out, touches behind your back and starts escorting you back out towards the front entrance that you went through.
Okay. I guess, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay. So as you two walk out into the hallway, and right as you get into sort of this main entrance area, he actually starts escorting you up the stairs. And as he is leading you away, we're going to actually pan back down to everyone else first. As they are down in the room with your grandmother. So Sarah, Furia, Murdoch, and Snowmoon. What are the group of you doing or planning?
I would like to do like a big like old lady stretch out of the chair, and I'd like to make myself look busy, like I'm perusing the bookshelves and like over by the mantle, but in actuality I'm gonna look for passageways again.
Oh, okay.
And also see if I can figure out what the heck he just took off of the mantle.
Okay, so go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
I'm gonna go... Ooh! Bone dice are doing good. Can you just add these together, please? My calculator stopped working. Does anyone know? Just give me a second.
Just say the numbers. I'm good at mental math.
16 plus 8.
24.
24.
Okay.
Okay, I rolled
Now-
a 24.
All right, well, not that fast. Jeez.
Now, second one, make a deception check for me.
Okay.
Because you were trying to make this look like you were perusing and not actually searching their house.
Okay.
I was going to ask Grandma a question. Would that possibly help distract her for this
Sure,
roll?
I'll say go ahead
Because I was
and make it
gonna-
with advantage.
Okay. Then with advantage, 13 plus deception, you said?
Yep.
13 plus 7, so dirty 20? Dirty
Okay.
20.
Yeah, it seems like Murdoch, as Murdoch apparently noticed as you get up and watched Grandma's eyes sort of focus on you the whole as you're starting to move, and asked a question. Seems to have worked.
I haven't gotten to say thank you for letting us into your home. I didn't want to interrupt. Thank you for the tea. There was some honey brought. Like I said, I didn't want to interrupt. Could that girl come back? Could I also have some honey for my tea?
Let me just check something here. And she, you hear her visibly, like you can visibly see her. And again, and Gnomish yells out something that none of you understand, but eventually Gar comes running out, brings another little small thing of honey, sets it beside you, and then she looks over at you and in Draconic says, "You're welcome, it seems. Well, let us hope that my husband and your friend can come to an agreement."
Oh, okay, wonderful. I figured powerful mages would understand Draconic tongue. I'd be surprised if not.
She gives a very sort of sly grin at you. Sarah, real quick, you do not find any sort of like levers or anything as you're actively poking around now. You do find a single word though on the on a small little, looks like almost like a little wooden stand. Has a little like a recess carved into it. Looks like a ball would sit there. On that, the single word printed is Bilaro. Billarro.
Bilaro. Okay.
I could start trying to charm this lady, but like I don't know if that's going to make a problem or not. And I don't really have a way to like ask the party. Furia's been really, really quiet. Has she like had any body language so that I can like pick up on like what she's thinking about?
I'm very, well, at least I would hope that I would appear very calm, sort of just letting everything happen around me as I almost nurse my tea, much like one would do a pint. Just paying attention to everything, but not really reacting or saying anything, obviously.
And have I gotten like the temperature of the room so far, like picking up that we're trying to distract her right now, or not really?
it, even Snowmoon's not always the most insightful member of the party, but I would say that you would probably know that the situation is more than a little tense.
Okay.
You've seen enough of the couple of magic users in the party to recognize when they're casting a spell. So you know that there were at least a couple of spells cast between Murdoch and Artemis. So you'd probably be aware that there's something going on that you're just not necessarily privy to. But it also seems that Lydia, Sarah, and Fury are not really on the know on that side of it either yet.
Okay.
But you also saw Artemis seem to sort of take a little bit of a breather while their grandfather walked around and then say, yeah, let's take a walk. So now it's the four of you left in the room with the grandmother, and Artemis is somewhere else with Grandpa.
Okay.
I'm like ready to try charms and stuff, but then if she can counterspell them or something, or the charm doesn't work, then it's moved into a hostile situation. And Murdoch doesn't change things to hostile situations if there's the possibility of it not. So she's like, I would say Murdoch looks really tense, like she wants to do something, but doesn't feel in her place to. Which is, normally she's like very, very, hard to read. Incredibly so. But I think you guys have been around her long enough to know that she's tense. Like she wants to act.
I'm going to do my own little distraction. So that halfling girl, it's odd for me to see someone from, well, my same race not even understand the halfling, let alone common. How did you manage to do that? Is she a student under your wing, a transfer, or a someone help me, what's the French word?
Protege?
Protege?
I'm not sure if that's the word you want.
I was trying to think of like the exchange student kind of thing.
French
It's like a
foreign
French
for
word.
an exchange student?
As you're asking her this, after you finish, she looks at you for a few moments and then turns to look at Murdoch. I will not lower myself to speak that tongue. Please advise your friend that she need only speak the language of her superiors. She works, lives, and does everything here. So all she needs is that one tongue.
Of course, I will, even though you could explain this to her in common, I will say, well, Sarah, it is because she need only know the language of her superiors to be of use. But Murdoch will turn back and in Draconic be like, personally, all of this language switching, it's all very highbrow. We're all linguists here. I'm just a little bit confused. We've been led in guests to your home without nary a message that we were coming, and yet now we cannot all just speak openly. I must say that I'm getting mixed signals on your hostess ship. Are we welcome here or are we not?
As you say that, she leans a little closer towards you, Murdoch, and you watch as the face breaks into a much wider smile. That's cute. Really thought we didn't know you were coming.
That's not what I said, actually. I said that we didn't give formal notification. We made the first faux pas. Understandable, yet you let us in as guests anyway, and then have given a very interesting set of behavior for hosting. So I ask again, are we welcome in your home? Or are we not?
And she sort of glances over her shoulder and sort of up towards a second floor that you can't see through the walls. I suppose we shall see.
I suppose we shall.
And with that, we are going to start to fade back upstairs towards Artemis, who has been led into what looks to be a private den. And as your grandfather opens the door and starts to usher you forward into the room, that's where we'll take our break this evening, as it is just after 9:30.
Oh my god, that went by so fast.
So don't go anywhere, folks. If you've been hanging out with us, we have an interesting situation as Artemis has met their grandparents,
Help
who appear to be a little bit on the gnome supremacy side.
Racism.
And a slight, bit of you can't fight fate. So we'll find out what happens when we get back in just a few minutes.
Fighting fate's my entire job.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back soon. Hey, I remembered to fix the transition this time. Welcome back, everyone. As we're going to pan into Grandpappy's den. So, Artemis, as you're escorted into this room, the first thing that you notice is it is rather barren for what you'd expect given what you've been seeing around the house. There is a single desk within the room. It's a very sort of dark wood floor, something like a cherry walnut or a dark oak. He leads you in. There's a single chair that sits in front of the desk and one on the far side of it. He gestures towards the seat closest to you. Closes the door behind him, walks around and sits down on the other side of the desk. As he sits down, puts his hands on the desk, and just in there you can hear as he takes that metal ball and just rolls it across the desk and rolls it back.
So it seems we're here to come to an arrangement. So you're looking for your mother. Oh, we've put her to work. Ensuring that our struggle does not end poorly. You could join, you could be with her in just a few moments.
I'm not going to lie, that doesn't exactly sound like the most fun. The way you've been putting things.
Fun. You use your talents the way you were meant to.
Which is for what?
I to remove those who think themselves your betters. To grind them under your feet and to have them serve you. just like we were once made to do.
So you were in the position that my mother is in right now.
No, I never was foolish enough to go against the family. She will learn, though. And then eventually we'll deal with the situation. Perhaps she'll still have some time left. But if we get more capable people willing to aid us, things could happen faster.
What do you mean by that?
We have to... Currently, I am the patriarch of our family. Eventually, I have to find one of those fools to step along and take the reins should something happen. But we have to deal with the ones who originally enslaved us. Their family has been blessed, if you call it that, by a fool. Here's some. A member of the court.
The court here?
Did she not teach you anything? The Sealy Court.
No, I'm afraid she did not.
One more thing for her to pay for, then. Suffice to say, our family has been dealing with this for a rather long time. Every now and again we take one and raise them to do household labor. I mean, they're only half people, so... He laughs a little bit at himself.
Don't really particularly feel as if you're quite selling me on this whole idea. I don't really get it.
He looks down and sort of rubs the side of his head and rubs the back of his neck a little bit.
They enslaved us. Now we enslave them. Until one of the two sides is dead, the feud will go on.
And Mum is in trouble because she didn't want to do that.
She abandoned her duty and her family. Now she is doing her job.
Right. No.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm not going to do that either. I'm only a half person, right? Why would you want that? So I think I'll stick to that side. I am gonna cast a message to Murdoch if I can.
Yeah, you've got
Message does work through some stuff.
Let me. I have a message that's. Keep forgetting it's not sending. Just check.
You do
this.
have sending as well now, Art. So just remember that.
We got you a scroll.
You got it today.
Let's see here. Let me just check.
Today in game.
1 foot of stone. What did it say? Oh, 3 foot. Yeah, you're fine. You're upstairs. You.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nowhere near 3 feet of solid wood between you and Murdoch.
Nice hardy floors.
Does it say that message can travel around corners and stuff though? Can it go down the stairs and
It can travel through solid objects if you're familiar with the target.
right?
So
I think-
basically it's got a range of 120 feet. So if knowing where you are, if Art casts a spell, I mean realistically you're dealing with a standard floor. So what is that? Let's say 6 inches thick, empty space on the joist, and then you've got some ceiling material. So maybe you're dealing with, we'll call it a foot, maybe a foot and a half of wood. It'll travel through 3 feet of wood without being stopped. So it can definitely make it to you.
Yeah.
Dope.
Oh yeah, no, Art can definitely get something to you.
They didn't put lead in the walls.
No, they didn't. And it's wood,
Tell
not
me.
stone or metal. So what you saying, Art?
Oh, okay. Hot message coming through. Oh, right. Things are getting bad up here. I think we might have to leave, as soon as possible.
Murdoch puts her tea down. Though she keeps like a little bit of like her teaspoon with the honey on it, and she's kind of just like idly swirling it. Leave peacefully? Or is there still more we need to do?
I have some leads. And if we go any further, I feel like this is only going to get worse.
Then we'll meet you at the front door, dear.
Cool.
And Murdoch will stand at the table and say, "My wonderful party, I think that Artemis is ready to leave, which means that we probably should not stay idle."
I agree, Murdoch. Come along, everyone.
As that's all happening downstairs. Art, what is your AC?
Yeah, okay.
Here we go.
Yep, this is not going to be good.
A whopping 14.
Okay. So as you're sitting there and you start casting your incantation, you can see the look of just shock on your grandfather's face as he's sitting there and you've been batting that ball back and forth. As he catches it in one hand, holds it up, and just flips it at you. And you hear as he mutters a word. And as it flies towards you and connects, and you feel that little... It doesn't really hurt. But all of a sudden you hear a series of clicks and whirs as this ball rapidly starts expanding into different straps and pieces. And you end up completely encapsulated in metal bands and bars, including a piece over your mouth, preventing you from speaking. As he gets up and
Cool.
doesn't even acknowledge you, gets up and walks out to the door, and you can hear him muttering something to somebody. Eventually, a couple of the guards come in, just either side of you, pick you up, start carrying you out of the room. We will flash downstairs. As the party has started to collect their things, anything you are doing as you're preparing to leave?
Is there a fire going in the fireplace?
Yes, there is.
Why are
Just
you...
want I just want to keep note of that for later. Okay.
It's a surprise hint that will help us later.
It's a mask tool.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. Never got your name. But I
Don't
think
really
we will
care.
be seeing... I think we'll be seeing ourselves out. And I say
would
all
like
that
to go
in
up to-
common.
Ooh. I would like to saddle up next to Feria.
Is it-
Come along, Feria. I do think it may be time.
I just sort of look up at you. I'm still sitting. I put my teacup on the table. We need to take Art with us.
Yes.
I don't see them yet.
Yes, thank you for the tea. Once Art joins us, we'll be on our way.
She doesn't. You can see, as Murdoch had been speaking in common, the smile sort of left her face a little bit. She's still just sitting there sipping her tea.
I'll message Artemis and be like, Artemis, we're ready to go. Are you coming downstairs?
It's free for me to
It's
respond.
mental, yeah. You can reply. You can't cast her to speak, but you can think it.
I am incapacitated. Please help.
Actually, everyone, I think that we can go get Art ourselves. I'm going to go towards the door.
She doesn't move.
Okay.
Just keep sipping her tea.
I'm going to open the door.
Door opens right up, and immediately on the other side of it, you see that same guard who escorted you in. A little taken back and starts talking to you in Gnomish, which...
I'm going to.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
As you
Party,
sort of opened it,
please.
you're
I'm
into
trying to. Party, please. I can't communicate. I rolled a natural 1!
Oh no.
So a 2 for perception. A little panic.
It says you're looking around. Art's not out there yet.
I get up and I come stand behind you, like looking out. You did say that we would meet them at the door. Where are they?
I'm going to go out on a limb and hope that the guards also don't really do the whole common thing. Have the guards ever been spoken to in common?
You haven't. None of them have spoken in front of you in common now. Everyone you've heard speak has been in Gnomish.
When we spoke at the gate, didn't... Yeah, because they spoke to...
They
They
spoke
spoke
only to Art.
They spoke only to
Okay.
Artemis.
I'm going to speak lowly to Furia for Grandma's sake, because I know Grandma understands. I think Artemis needs us.
Then let's be helpful. Also in a, quiet voice.
Stage
I-
whispers.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to use... Is this the only guard that's here?
I have a locate object. Would you like me to try to use that in this case? Do you think it's that dire?
Yes.
And yes, that is the only guard you can see.
Is he like barring our way? He's talking to us in Gnomish, but we don't understand.
Yeah, he's standing. So the door opens. So as you open the door, he is right on the other side of the door. He was just sort of leaning up against the wall, so he's not blocking you.
If I try to move around him, does he make a motion like, "Oh wait, like where are you trying to go?"
Not immediately. As you start moving in, you get the way he's talking doesn't seem like he has a whole lot of concern right now. Okay. I'll say it's probably a safe bet that he's waiting to see what you're doing.
I'll use not a spell, but I have my bardic feature universal speech. He's not going to be able to understand, or I'm not going to be able to understand him, but I'm going to designate him as a creature that can magically understand me regardless of the language I speak.
Okay.
For 1 hour. So there's just a little bit of a wave. It's not like a full spell, so it's just a little like thing. We would like to go fetch Artemis from upstairs, please. We need to leave, actually.
As he looks, he gets a little bit of a confused look on his face for a minute. And then starts speaking to you in Gnomish again.
I cannot understand what you're saying. Can we go get Artemis? Yes or no?
He looks and... Again, you can sort of hear the wheels turning as if he's trying to figure out how to do it. Points at you and nods yes. Gestures at the others and goes,
Well, while they're having that conversation, I would like to cast Locate Object as subtly as I can over on this side of the room.
We're all like, grouping up at the door, like, just put Furia in the middle.
I would probably concentrate on something Art was wearing, if that was that jacket or something like that.
Art does have that custom-made jacket, so that's
right.
actually a real smart one to use. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check just to see how, or either sleight of hand or stealth, whichever's better as you're trying.
It's the same. It's the same for me. So that is 22 math. I rolled a 19 plus 3,
Okay.
whatever that is.
So let me just check and see what is.
He
I don't think either of
only
them have
I can go
passive.
upstairs to go get art. Is that what he was basically saying?
You get that you get that feeling, yeah.
Oh, they can't just keep separating us one-on-one.
So yeah, it doesn't look like anybody caught it.
All right.
So as you cast it and you start getting that sensation, and you immediately get a ping, only probably about 100 or so feet away from you. So where you're standing, like just inside that doorway right behind Murdoch, it's sort of up to your right, and it is slowly getting further away, staying on that sort of top level. So you get the idea that they're moving around up on the second floor.
All right. Can I tell how much movement? Is this like very quickly
No, it looks
transport
like
a body's type of movement, or is this
no, you get the
shuffle back
sensation.
and forth?
It feels like Art's walking around. It feels like
Okay.
they may have gone up and just taken a nice leisurely walk around the upstairs, balcony or something. It's
How many people are actually at this door? Is it just myself and Murdoch, or has everybody?
You guys all come in?
I had gotten up and walked to the door too. Yeah.
okay. I know Sarah said that they were pushing with trying to stay with Furia, so I'll assume Lydia's going to follow along then.
So I'm sort of like half turn around. What is the grandmother looking at? Is she looking at us at the moment?
Seems to be sipping the tea. Doesn't seem to be paying a whole lot of attention from what you can see.
So I'm Spellwork. Art is here. Pick me up, and I'm going to turn into a spider. And sort of land and sort of curl up onto Murdoch's shoe.
Ooh, okay. God. She was actually always a spider. Her spell just wore off. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I'm what is it? One of your familiars.
Out of character. I need to get out of character just so that other people can weigh in. Do you want? Are you guys okay with waiting down here to see if we can still do this kind of amicably, or is this like we want to keep the whole party together kind of thing?
So, were the rest of us able to understand that only Murdoch was allowed up?
The rest of you were still more in the room, so you probably really can't get a good view of the guard.
Okay.
You heard Murdoch saying something, and you can tell Murdoch is looking off to the left, but you're really not seeing what the response is.
Murdoch can, if you guys want, she will give you a really quick rundown if you want to rather do this in character, but I wanted to just get opinions outright before I do something that someone doesn't want to happen.
Right. I mean,
I'll be honest. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, because if I didn't know that we weren't that Murdoch was the only one, I probably would have went upstairs as well. So, and who knows,
which
might have caused something to happen. But
in which case, if you made the motion for it, she would put the hand on and be like, Artemis is incapacitated and asking for help. The guard says that only one of us can go up. We need to make a decision on whether we're being amicable or not.
I mean, I guess we can try to keep it peaceful for now, but if something happens, we're down here and I'm ready.
Then why don't Furia and I go, and you three just be ready, okay?
Okay, understood.
I wish you were coming. I really do, but I'm gonna try. Make sure that Sarah doesn't burn anything, or make sure that Sarah burns something.
If it gets testy in here, then we'll see what happens. But
Murdoch is going to go with Spider Furia upstairs because the
Okay.
guard said I could. And I want to message Art again and be like, Artemis, Furia and I are coming upstairs. What is going on?
He threw that metal ball at me. I'm wrapped up in metal. Can't move or speak. No spells.
I will cast again, now that I know you can't cast spells. Furia has a locate object spell on your coat. We are tracking you. How many... Just recast? How many people are with you?
It's just hit. It's just
It's 2 guards that are currently carrying you, sort of like a metal suitcase. And then Grandpappy.
Okay, he went
Cool.
with...
2 guards and grandfather.
And
Okay.
Artemis, if you want to, you can attempt to make a strength check to try to break out of this.
If you haven't used my inspiration, then this could be used for it.
I mean, might as well. They know that I'm not good with the idea, so it wouldn't
And-
exactly be
My inspiration keeps going until you break out of it.
a shock.
Or until you make a successful...
Yeah,
A successful
when you make a
attempt, yeah.
successful check with it.
Yeah.
It's a D8.
17.
As you try, it does not seem to be giving.
We can do it. We can do it. High enough roll, and you can do it. I believe in you. I'm going to now message. It's just message spells, message spells, message Furious Spider. Can you help direct me? Is your spell still going as a spider?
Yes,
we
it
just
would be.
gotta
Yeah.
add a redeemed add your proficiency bonus.
Ooh,
Ooh.
for Artemis.
What's your proficiency bonus?
It would be 3.
Which
Yes.
would make it 20.
Mm-hmm.
Are you burning it, Art?
Absolutely.
Gonna have to remember that, you.
Yes!
As it is a DC 20, and if you fail,
Oh, okay.
you
okay.
don't make another check. It's you fail that save, and it's just done. You can't check it. You can't try again for a day.
Oh, you're out. Oh, you're out.
So, as they are carrying you away in Art, you're sitting there and just, getting angry, realizing that, hey, you might be on your way to see your mom, but not in the manner you were hoping for. And just start giving that sort of push and somehow manage to just start pushing against this, and you start to hear little bits of creaks and bends in the metal.
The strongest gnome in all of the world.
And all of a sudden, in Gnomish, you hear the 2 guards start shouting a couple of feet ahead to get your grandfather's attention. Now, Murdoch and Fury, you can hear this. And they're saying, "Oh, they're getting out, they're getting out. Quick, what do we do? What do we do?"
I'm going towards the sound.
As you're taking off running, Art, you eventually manage to rip this thing off of you and land, the strap across your mouth falling to the ground. Now, a couple pieces still sort of stuck in parts of your hair, just trying to shake it all out. As you get yourself to your feet, standing about 2 or 3 feet behind these 2 guards who have now turned to look at you, with your grandfather in the distance turning to look at you as well. And you can hear rapid footsteps coming up from somewhere probably about 40 or 50 feet behind you.
Cool. What does the second floor look like? You said it was like like a wraparound, kind of like staircase kind of thing.
Yeah, so
or
as
whereabouts am I?
initially as you, from that main area, the stairway has, the stairways on the left and right sort of curve up and meet up in the middle onto this balcony. That balcony runs left and right. When your grandfather brought you up, you went down to the right, turned left, and then it was down a long hallway. Couple of doors on the left-hand side. He took you into one on the right into his den. When he came back out, you took a right, sort of continuing along this sort of outer, I guess I'll say walkway. There seems to be some sort of large room in the middle. He took you down, turn left, so you're basically, if you were to come up those center stairs and literally cut a hole right through the wall in front of you and keep going straight, eventually you'd come out the other side and be standing right where you are.
Okay,
That was a lot.
that was a lot.
Okay, let me do this then. We'll do draw shape and we'll just go. Okay, so basically,
Sarah, the code word is scorched earth.
I apologize, man, if this is going to be hideous looking because I did not.
There is no safe word.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm on a line. There we go, freehand.
Whoa!
Okay, so what we're going to do is, so you have the two stairways, look something sort of like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, ooh, that's horrible. The long hallway basically wraps like this. So
Right.
what they did is he brought you up, brought you over this way, and into a little offshoot on the side. And when
Okay.
he came back out, took you out this way, and you're roughly over here right now.
Okay,
Murdoch
you're
with
continuing the
Ophelia.
loop.
Yeah, he's basically continuing the loop around to go off somewhere. Now, where is he taking you? Who knows?
A secondary location!
I thought we already did the secondary location.
It's like a fourth location. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Okay.
Am I hearing any noises in front of me?
You don't hear anything as of other than the couple of them talking, and it seems like your grandfather turning to look at you and wondering what's going on. You're not hearing like any extra footsteps or anything running towards you from that end.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If the path of least resistance, if there's no like guards or anybody in the way that I can see right now, that's the way I'm going.
Okay, so yeah, that would be back. Okay, so you've got the guards in front of you, which is the two guards, then your grandfather. Behind you is where you're hearing the footfalls coming from. So right now, you know somebody is charging up behind you. And you can hear it's heavy footfalls and it's moving quick.
And it's a closed hallway.
It's a closed hallway. Yeah, there's other doorways if you want to try going into another door, but you've got from where you are, there's
Okay.
one
I
door on the left.
believe
and
Murdoch did say we were coming after you, so
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. It's so. It's literally so much.
Literally, my life is I'm going to wait for a few more seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
So for those of you downstairs, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Roll one for Lydia.
They tried to kidnap you.
19.
Okay.
$19 as well.
Okay. So it's not going to matter what Lydia rolls because you both hear it. So you can hear off in the distance, some voices yelling in Gnomish. And then it dies down and everything gets quiet.
Sarah, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
I know, should we head upstairs, or should we remain down here?
With Her Lady Grace watching, I'm not sure if all of us would work, but I do have an idea.
Okay,
You two, or is there just one guard? Just
Right
one
now,
guard,
the
right?
three of you that are just sort of clustered right outside the doorway from where you were sitting having tea, there is one guard right there.
I'm going to try and speak to the one guard. Excuse me, sir. I hate to be a bother since we're already going hither and thither. Do you know where the little girl's room is?
He looks at you and just sort of scratches his head and seems to have no clue what you're saying.
I don't speak common.
I'm gonna kind of turn back a little so Grandma can hear me. You know, if you don't want to be bothered all the time for people asking for translations, you might want to allow your staff to at least know a little common. At least the words like bathroom and food and books. I'm not sure what you speak about in this house, but Artemis likes a lot of books, so I'm guessing books have to do with magic a lot of the time.
As you're saying this and you're turning back and saying something, turn back and turn back. As you turn back that third or fourth time to say books, you hear a couple of quick words come out of her mouth. And she's gone.
Okay.
Well, leaving in the middle of a conversation is, you know what, let's just go upstairs.
yes, I think it's time. Let's go upstairs.
I shove past the guard, excuse me.
Yeah, and I'll start to like run up the stairs now.
As you hear some somewhat excited random noise, because neither of you understand it, from behind. About that time, Artemis, as you're sitting there staring at these two guards and your grandfather, about 5 or 6 feet behind him, all of a sudden, in a shimmering sort of haze, you see your grandmother appear.
Ugh.
As at that point, turning the corner and almost running headfirst into you is Murdoch.
Running into me?
Yeah, literally, Murdoch just turned the corner into that long hallway.
Cool.
So now it's you and Murdoch down at this one end. A couple of guards. Oh,
Me too.
I forgot.
You hear a
Spider
small me
figure.
too.
And then the two guards, and then your grandparents down at the farther end.
Murdoch, we need to go now.
I'm like looking. I'm like, wait, wasn't she just? You're very right, Artemis.
And now you can
Let's
hear
go.
heavy footfalls coming up behind you, Murdoch.
Just get behind me.
What's going on up here?
Oh, okay, it's Snow Moon. Oh, okay.
Is everything all right?
Yes, we
Did
need
you
to
find
go now.
We're leaving.
Your grandmother disappeared, by the way. Is
She's
she
up
out?
here.
Okay, we are leaving.
We are leaving. All of us.
Get going then,
Backing up.
and I'll start heading down the stairs again.
We're running.
Oh, okay. Snow Moon, as you turn around and start to leave, that guard is charging up the stairs after you.
And
Anything-
all our weapons are still in the bag of holding. Is that true?
No
Yeah.
one is taking
Okay.
anything out.
Okay.
Can I
only-
also?
Oh, go ahead.
Can we all see the guard coming up, or is it like Snow Moon?
No,
First in line.
realistically, it would be probably you and him as you guys were charging up last.
Okay, I'm gonna try and push the guard off the stairs.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength attack. A d20 plus your strength. And we're just going to base this off of his...
I got a natural 20.
Yes!
He makes the goofy scream.
Okay, let's see here.
I can't even make an in-laws joke. Like, this is your actual, like, blood family.
I mean,
Oh
they're
my word, this...
they're their father's in-laws.
You are the strongest gnome in the world.
I'm not going to
It
roll this.
happens.
Just
You are.
remember
I'm
the
not
time
gnome.
when Art tackled that dude to the ground? Like, our gnome is mega strong. He doesn't even know it.
Sarah, go ahead and roll 2d6 for me. As you-
he's
I'm too
dumb.
lazy to turn on a light. Give me a second.
As you are literally... As this guy is running up and shouting at something as all of a sudden...
2 and a 5.
Okay, Grandma Halfling shoulder rams this poor gnomish guard back, and they slam into the railing, and you hear a slight crack as they go over backwards, hit the ground, motionless.
Oh, I did it again. I accidentally murdered again. This is the tavern all over again.
Oh no. Let's all go. Okay, well, you know what?
Self-defense!
I'll think of the legal ramifications to explain that later. So yeah, self-defense is pretty good. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Our-
let's keep moving.
Because it goes the double staircase and then the front door is like right there, right? Because
Yep.
that's the foyer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I use thaumaturgy to just have the door open for us?
of course.
Okay.
Okay, anyone
I'm
else?
just holding on for dear life on Murdoch's shoe at the
Oh,
moment.
yes.
Because
I remember
Murdoch's
this
probably
from
faster
Charlotte
than
Black.
my 20 feet of movement at the moment.
Oh, definitely. Okay,
Getting my steps in.
Snow
Doors.
Moon, Art, anything you would be doing?
I've probably panic cast blur on myself.
Okay.
Not bad. That's good. That's good.
Do we see any more guards starting to come our way? At least from inside?
Well, you guys are running out, so I'll say go ahead and make a perception check to see if you can hear anything following you. Because right now you
Okay.
guys are just sort of coming down the stairs.
I am like concerned that your grandparents didn't do anything.
Mm.
I'm so worried.
And that's an 11.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right now that when everyone started running, all you're hearing is just the sort of that blood pumping, your heart pumping
Mhm.
as you're taking off running. You don't hear anyone coming up behind you that you noticed.
And I guess like mechanically, with Furia as a spider, like would I be able to get my blade from the bag of holding right now? No.
The bag of
Okay.
holding and all our weapons is part of Spider Me.
Okay.
I have my extra cane sword in my bag of holding.
But I think we just need to leave. We don't need to kill anybody.
Yeah.
else.
So other than that, I'm trying to keep moving, get out of here.
I mean, I did break the like railing. You can take some of some
Who,
railing pieces.
who employs a guard with 7 HP?
He was somebody's brother. It was a pity hire.
That's what happens when your aunt calls and be like, hey, can you give him a job? Yeah, fine, but he's not coming in the house.
Your brother is the guard at the manor. I know he's the guard at the manor. And he's a level 52 warlock.
With 7 HP.
I roll for every one of my NPCs. Unfortunately,
That dude just... I feel bad.
I don't.
So that's
Yeah.
true. They did try to kidnap you. Well, your grandparents did.
But so Lydia, Sarah, and Snowmoon make it down to the bottom of the stairs to start getting to the front door. Murdoch and Spider-Furia, Art falling right behind. Art's behind, but falling a little behind. It's just Art's a little bit slower, speed-wise.
Aw.
But eventually, the group of you manage to get out the front door. As you are all mad dashing out the front door, who would be first out the door between Sarah and Snowmoon? Because you two were really the last ones up there.
Yeah,
So you were the
I
ones
guess-
sort of leading the charge out, so to speak.
I guess I was first up, so Sarah would have been first down, and she
Oh,
was
okay.
behind. I think.
Okay.
So
I feel like you have the farther movement range.
Oh,
That's the
I
only
would've.
reason I say you.
I would have reached the front, maybe.
yeah, would you have passed Sarah though on your way to get out?
Yeah, we'll say I did.
Oh, okay. So as you are taking off, there are guards outside the front door that, hearing a commotion, something breaking inside, are going to take a swipe as you're running by, because you're the first one they see. So they're going to take 2 swipes at you as you're trying to go by. Actually, no, one's going to try to hit you, one's going to try to grab you. So the hit is a nat 20. So he is definitely going to manage to hit you. The one who's going to try to grapple, so you can either make a strength check to try to break through it, or acrobatics if you want to try to dodge it.
I will make a strength check.
Okay. I think that should be I think you should have no problem with that one. That did not roll.
Oh yeah, that's a 25.
Yeah, no, he rolled a 8. So yeah, you're easily able. As he goes to grab a hold of you, you manage to just sort of push him off you. But as you push off him, the guard on the other side, as his spear out, manages to drive that into your back. And that is... Oh, geez, not great on that one either. That is 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
2-handed spear attack, 2d8s, 2 on each of them.
Dang, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I'm sorry,
I kill
Matthew.
I kill Snowmoon so often.
That is true.
So eventually you guys are making your way out, and you get to the large locked metal gate. There are 2 guards on the outside of the metal gate, now looking back at the group of you running forward, seeing that one of them just tried to stab you and are starting to pull their spears out, are looking at the group of you.
How far away are one of those gate guards from me?
At this point, probably no more than 50 feet. As you guys are rapidly getting closer. So another couple of seconds, you'll be within 30.
Yeah. Murdoch is like gauging it and is like, well, Murdoch doesn't probably know it's locked at this point, so I try thaumaturgy to thaumaturgy the gate. But I believe it has to be unlocked.
Yeah, and I would say you would probably remember, because you haven't been in there all that long, when they let you in, he did turn around and lock the gate again when they opened it for you.
I cannot Nah, I can't do something from 50 feet away, so we just running still, I guess.
Okay. Let me take a quick.
We've
Where's...
got a battering ram of a man. And I do want to see him plow through a gate.
Just checking real quick what Lydia had prepared. See if she's got anything to help.
I'm so sorry. I'm so disgusting. just whenever we finish this series, just go through on YouTube and do a Murdoch lusty
First
counter.
Ding!
Yeah.
Ding. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Cinema
whatever-
sins.
Whatever you
Yeah.
do, don't make it a drinking game. We don't want that death. We don't want your death on our conscience.
It's like about one per episode.
No, it's like 3. So is the
actually, does
the-
this do...
gates just locked like with a normal like padlock, or is it like one
There's
of
a key.
those big logs? Or...
With a key.
No, it's literally it's lock built into it. So
Okay.
yeah, Lydia does not have anything that she can do to help out.
We're 50 feet away.
Just about. You're probably closer to like 30 now as you're getting closer. You guys are sprinting, so
How
I'm-
far away am I?
you're probably pulling up the rear. So I'd say you're probably closer in the range of like 40 or 50. As Sarah and Snowmoon were up front, so
Well, can I try something? Before
Sure.
we get closer? Gonna point at that there door in the lock region and cast Shatter and see if that does something.
alrighty then. Okay, I've got to look at me some shatter.
I didn't know you had that spell.
Double damage, I think, on inorganic.
Non-material.
But you
yeah.
might also hit some guards there, so
10-foot radius.
Oh, it's not doing that.
That's fine.
Okay,
exactly
inorganic
nice for
material.
me.
Oh, it has disadvantage on the saving throw. Okay, so do me a favor, roll 3d8 thunder damage.
Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna roll some saving throws here.
Yeah, it says a creature has disadvantage on save, but a non-magical object just takes the damage.
I'll do it, yeah.
So 20?
Oh, okay. So,
20?
3d8.
That's like near max!
Okay, so as Artemis points at this lock as you guys are getting closer,
Spell shape, save the
And-
guards. Never.
what is this? What does this
might
look
be a
like?
wise idea, just saying. But
What does Shatter look like as Art casts this? Because I think this is the first time Artemis is casting this spell.
Oh boy, I think right now they're more just panic they want out. So it's probably just a messy blast of like light or something like that.
As you all watch as this massive just flash happens right in front of the, like literally right on your side of the gate in front of this lock, and you watch as the metal and the lock itself, the middle probably good 2-3 feet of this gate is just obliterated, and shrapnel is sent flying out into the street on the other side.
Oh gosh.
As the guards, immediately on the other side of the fence, are now filled with little bits of metal and everything else as they collapse backwards.
I'm seeing how the things I've heard in my reports happen!
Do you see how we're victims of happenstance?
I do!
As the lawyer is fleeing a house where 3 dead people are.
I'm a lawyer in Baldur's Gate. Look, people get stabbed in the courtrooms there, okay? We're hardy. It's not my fault that they got poo-poo hit points here. All these wizardly types.
For those counting at home, that is 3 guards dead now. Ding, ding, ding.
Their armor means nothing.
That was an 18, a 16, and a 15 on those 3. On those 2. I rolled max on one of them.
Sorry. Oopsie.
As you get to the gate and sort of turn out and head off into the street, those of you who happen to by chance take a glance back notice the guards that had been giving chase from upstairs have stopped right outside the doors. Flanked on either side of the entranceway to the actual house itself by Art's grandmother and grandfather. The illusion back in place. As the two of them are glancing out at the group of you taking off, you notice that the 2 bodies on the ground behind you start to float and drift back in towards the house.
I hate that.
We need to get somewhere safe, just in case they decide to turn this against us with the law.
We need to get out of here.
Out of Silvery Moon?
I feel like that might be best.
Do we go back to the Harper's portal, or just leave the city?
The portal's underground, yeah?
That was the portal in Waterdeep.
Waterdeep's portal.
The closest portal to where you are now is in Everland. It's a 2-day travel to the south.
Oh, that's right.
That was in Moongleam Tower. That
So
was
I
the
guess-
Harper Stronghold.
So I guess Murdoch is like, do you mean just camp outside, or do we go back to Everland and like leave?
I think we should leave. Or- I mean, camping outside is on our way to leaving, so we might as well just get on our way.
I'll take the damn zombie circus over this. God. Maybe I wouldn't. I'm just a little bit high strung. I actually wouldn't.
Lydia seems to be very excited about the concept of seeing the zombie circus
No,
again.
no, Lydia. We're not going back to the circus. Oh, our armor. Oh.
So are we actively moving it still at this point?
I sure hope it does.
And which direction are we
I think
going?
so, yeah.
I feel like maybe we like got to like that. Remember how there's like the bridge? I at least would have thought kind of going there, and then maybe it's kind of like a, okay, wait, like where are we going?
Yeah, we just
We're
ran
just running.
straight out of the door just to keep running, and then yeah.
And it's raining.
Yeah, it is a rainy day in Silvery Moon.
My suit.
We will jump. Oops.
So at a agreeable distance, I'll take a hop off of Murdoch and turn back into myself.
Oh, Furia, I'm so sorry. I forgot that you were on my boot. I'm so glad that I didn't step on you. I guess you would have been fine.
I would have just crawled further up your pants. Don't look at me that way. It's totally normal for a spider to do something.
I'm going to need to get garters now. Ugh.
Well, that is the best part
So-
of any wet.
They didn't technically see me leave. I don't know if I'd be the freshest person in their mind, as I didn't really talk at all during that. So what if I go and pick up armors, the library stuff, and meet you
us
outside the city?
Are you sure you want to just do all that alone?
I mean, if one of you wants to stick with me, but that'd be fine. But I mean, I have ways of moving smaller than what I am now. I know in a city
No.
filled with magic, it might not be that useful, but
And Lydia will volunteer. She can do disguise self if you need someone to.
Yeah.
tag
That
along
I
she can
feel
do.
safer about.
And so she'll make herself look like that old elvish individual she uses occasionally. Then, so is the two of them are taking up to that? What are the other four of you doing then?
What exit are we heading out of?
if you guys want to move, we can catch up, I'm sure.
We'll go
The nearest one.
well, if we're going in the direction of Everland, we should go out the southwest gate. Or actually south right off the bridge. If we just keep going straight south, there's actually a southeast gate.
By 29.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Right. Well,
Sounds good.
we have sending spells. We can meet back up.
We
Okay.
Okay. So it is.
before we let our cleric leave, by the way, Lydia, I'm gonna point at Snowmoon, who's been stabbed again.
Let's see what she's got prepped here.
Maybe we should find an
I-
alleyway I can
feel-
get back
I
hold
feel
of your
fine.
weapons.
We don't have to do that right now.
I'll start handing out weapons, whatever it was in the bag.
Yeah, and
But
where you
you've
guys
been
are sort of
stabbed.
off in an alley.
Oh, that's
Um,
nothing.
Yeah, so Lydia will cast a first level Cure Wounds on you, especially where everyone's going to be separated, and you know, for some reason you end up
Just
being a
before our
pincushion.
cleric leaves.
Also, we were visiting a house, and the people we were visiting suddenly tried to kidnap our friend, and then as we were fleeing with our friend, they tried to stab us on the way out. I mean, sure, they're influential, but
They might just be hush hush about it. While the healing and the weapon distribution takes place, Murdoch would probably take the time and turn to Artemis. The rain really is like her like frill
The
is like
drop.
all droopy, but like you can tell she is genuinely crying on top of the rain because she's like, Artemis, I'm so sorry. I thought that I could do something, so I said to go alone. I did not know. I was going to do something, and I was worried that I would make it worse. And I'm so sorry. I did not know that he was going to do that to you. I said that I would be here for you, and I let you go alone.
It's okay, Murdoch. We're here. We're out of that, and you did come to help me. I didn't know that he was going to throw something at me that would turn me into no more than a bale of hay, sort of deal.
I'm
It's okay.
sure that you will explain what you talked about soon, but just
Once
well,
while
respectfully, damn him to the hells. Taking his own daughter and possibly his own grandchild. I have no respect for the man. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, me neither.
Okay.
So, Snowmoon,
go
you
up,
get
so.
7 hit points back.
Okay.
I think is more than you lost.
Yeah, that was more than I lost.
We'll
a
regroup
little bit
outside
at
of
the
the
top.
city. Okay.
I mean, I can always turn into a horse, and Lydia and I can meet up with you.
Okay. Be careful. Just in case.
Lydia has sending, so if we run into trouble, we can let you know.
Yeah, I remember the way to the gate, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, and we'll start with Fury and Lydia, who are running off to take care of picking some stuff up. Easy enough at the library. When you show up, they've got everything prepared for you. They do remember that you were part of that sort of camaraderie that showed up, everyone together.
Right, I caused a little bit of a scene, anyways, unintentionally.
But as you're there and they say, oh, it takes a few minutes to go and start getting everything, your friend actually returns. And as he walks over to see you, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
19.
Oh, okay, yeah. As he and it is very easy to notice for you, and a part of you wonders if it's being done deliberately. As he walks over, he is spinning something on his finger. And as he gets closer and just again comes up right and leans a little bit, hand up on his chin a little bit, one holding his elbow. Literally think, and I hate to phrase this way, but I don't know any other ring-esque things. Think of it when that young lady gets engaged and is like, "Oh my," and is putting the ring in, or putting her hand in weird positions specifically to show off the ring. Mm-hmm. You very much are getting that sort of a vibe from this individual. And he is wearing...
He's voguing.
A very beautiful, high-polished, looks to be a silver or platinum ring. As you're looking at it, let me see exactly what it shows on it. This one has a... it looks like, as you're looking at it, it has a bunch of different runes and characters carved into it. But as you're looking at it, it makes you think of ice and frost, cold. And as you stand there looking at you doing that, it says, "And remember, I will pay quite well." Oh, but it looks like your documents are here, and he just gives a little nod and starts to walk away.
I sort of, and I would overdo it, be like shocked, like squinting at it, like, is that what I think it is? Like, oh my, like, not quite fangirl, but like, overproduced awe at seeing one of these rings. And start, nod vigorously. Of course, I will be happy to tell you if I find anything worth knowing about any of these rings.
And yeah, a couple moments later, they bring you out all of your documentation. All the copies that everyone had requested and paid for the other day.
and then send you on your way.
I quickly moved from the library to the leather workshop to pick up the other things that we ordered.
Yep. And as you get there to pick up, it's starting to get a little later in the day now. As you arrive there, he's got your armor with the again the sort of like swirling ivy climbing up the different parts of it, and then you can see the work that he had done for Murdoch with the with basically the Murdoch's suit with the different enhancements in the shoulders.
Yes.
And his
That'll make me feel better.
and she's, oh shit, the Dragonborn, she didn't come back with you. Oh,
She wasn't busy with other stuff, tight schedule, you know, but
I was able to get that. Unfortunately, it's only I could only get a weaker version of the enchantment, but I was able to get the glamour enchantment that she was looking for. So it has been done onto her armor. Please tell her to find a way to get word to me if she's happy with it, or just send more business my way.
I'm sure we
It's been
can
a
make
while
that
since
happen.
I've made something for my son. It's a nice reminder.
Well, if we ever run into him in our travels, I'm sure we will let him know that you speak very highly of him.
He sort of just grabs his chest a little. Well, listen, his name is Silver. If you do see him, just let him know I was at, and tell him to contact his father.
Of course we can. I'll trade in my current chest piece and hand it to him and take mine.
Once he gets everything and wraps the stuff up so you can carry Murdoch's easier. Gives a little nod, and as you turn, you catch him sort of looking over at the picture of his son again. And as the two of you start heading out to catch your friends, we're actually going to jump forward to the other group. Is there anything you would be doing as you are making your way out of the city?
Probably if there's any layers to my outfit, I'd be like if there's a shawl, kind of like throw that in one alley.
It's like getting rid of the costume you would put on. so to speak.
Basically, like I would suggest when we, well, maybe when we have more clothes available, we get rid or at least not wear what we were just wearing in that house, just for safety's sake.
Art is pretty much already ahead of you. They've taken off that like coat and they've kind of like folded up semi nicely and put it like stuffed it into their pack, I guess. Yeah, their little like satchel. All that they're wearing on their top now is just kind of like I don't know what the material is. I don't want to say it's like a pirate's undershirt, but it's like a weird sort of material that's kind of like a white undershirt.
Like a
wool.
chemise?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would have taken the nicer coat off as well, because I only put it on just to go into the house, so he's back to just his normal robe and armor. But
I like
also,
my outfit. I'll keep it on.
how much did Sarah and I see of what actually happened with Art? Like on the
So-
second floor before we got up there.
You so
Probably.
yeah,
not
you didn't
much.
really see anything by the time
Yeah.
you got up. By the time you got up and were coming up behind Murdoch, Art was already out, like out of their binds. and was sort of facing towards the guards a little bit, knowing that Murdoch was right behind them.
Okay.
And then as the group of you got up, that's basically you got up there, and then it was, uh-oh, time to go, and you guys all took off.
Yeah. Does it seem like Art is still kind of like upset at the moment? Or,
Yeah, I'd say so.
okay, so he wants to ask like what exactly happened, but he's not going to do it just yet. He's going to wait for things to slow down a little bit.
As you guys are making your way in, as you get outside of the city, and probably no more than 50 or 100 feet outside the walls, Artemis appearing in front of you is a small, shapeless, floating creature holding in its hands a wooden chest. As it appears in front of you, you know somehow that there is a book and a letter within it intended for you. You also know you have the next 9 minutes to collect said items. Sorry.
I kind of glance around, see if other people are seeing that.
Oh yeah, they all see it as well, but it is it appeared directly in front of you.
Okay.
This better not make things worse.
They're just gonna quickly reach in the chest, grab the stuff, close the chest.
Okay. As you reach in and pull out the items, the minute the lid of the chest closes, it vanishes from in front of you. As you're looking at the book, the first thing you notice, it is a dark black leather-bound book with very ornately printed runes on the binding. Remind you of something you saw very recently. As it seems to match a set that was in your grandparents in that initial room. As you look at the small folded up letter, though, you recognize the handwriting. Seems to be from your mother.
Art just freezes and is just looking down at the letter, kind of hunching forward just to make sure that like rain doesn't get on it, or as much as they can do that. What does it say?
Right now, it just said, as you're looking at this folded up letter, there's a small wax seal on it. And it says, "To my dearest Artemis." open in private.
I'll kind of tilt their head back up and stuff the letter into their satchel, but like kind of like right beside their spellbook, and keep walking.
And with that, as Artemis continues walking along, as the group of you have just witnessed them grab something out of a chest, freeze for a moment, and then continue along the way. As you wait for your friends to catch up with you. That's where we'll call an end to tonight's session, as it is just after 11. As you are en route back to Everland, seemingly without legal ramification of the adventure in Everland. And now with Artemis receiving a strange letter. So, don't forget, folks, I unfortunately realized as time was creeping up on us that we will not be here next week.
That's right. Oh, why?
No!
Matthew!
Yeah, maybe it's not my fault I was born on the 5th of April.
Reset your camera so I can look at your face when you say it.
Look
You
me
can't
in the
just get
eye
the-
and
Look
say
me in the eye
next
and
week's
say that.
session is cancelled.
But we will be back in 2 weeks' time, unfortunately, to find out, well, if Art decides to open said letter, what is within it.
We wait 2 weeks and you just burn it without reading it.
It's not from my mom, it's my grandma. Burn it. I don't believe it.
I don't want to believe anymore.
Thank you very much for those of you who have hung out with us. Thank you very much, Lead Holla or Led Holla. I never know whether that's a lead or led.
Led.
For helping Art out, as that would have gone a whole lot differently if Art was trapped in that thing for 24 hours.
Oh boy.
It's almost like you should remember to add your proficiency bonus.
And on that one, folks, we're going to take off for the night. We'll see you next time.